Hey guys, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the 7th update for my 9 in 2019 Project Pan. Now I did update this only about 3 weeks ago at the very beginning of this month, so not a ton of progress to share with you guys on some of these items. However, I do have some exciting progress, so let's just hop right on into it. I'm going to start with the items that have been in this project the longest, as I always do. So this first item right here is the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade. This is in the shade Taupe. This year has been quite an adventure with this dip brow. I knew I was in it for the long haul, but I didn't really anticipate at the beginning of this year how long it was going to take. And I did end up rolling a brow pencil into this project a couple months ago. So that kind of took a little bit of my priority for the last little while, but there is a little bit of progress on here from the last update that I did back at the beginning of this month. So as you can see, I have definitely used a little bit of product, not as much as maybe I would have liked to, but I've only started reaching for this within the last couple days of this week. It is what I'm wearing through my brows today, and then at the front of the brows, I'm wearing the Essence Make Me Brow, the like tinted fiber brow gel. I have been using this exclusively through the tails of my brows for several months of this project pan. I don't use this in the front of my brow. It just looks a little bit too heavy for my personal taste, or like my taste on my own face. But I definitely have quite a ways to go with this. I think I should be able to finish this by the fall time. I really don't know. It's kind of up in the air at this point, but so far enjoying it, but I am really excited to see this product go. That is for sure. I cannot wait until the day I have finished up an entire dip brow. I cannot wait. And I do have a whole new dip brow in the shade Ash Brown in my collection. I haven't even touched it yet. That's something I'm going to end up having to work on in the future. But given how long this took me, it's kind of daunting to think about having to use that. So yes, we're just gonna ignore that and stop thinking about that. This is the Pacifica Transcendent Concentrated Correcting Concealer in the shade Light. Cannot get that name down. Like, I cannot remember it at all, even though it has been 7 months that I've been focusing on this. But I do have really great progress to share with you guys on this product over this past month. I actually used up a fair amount of product. I think it's really difficult to see from there. I do have a lot of visibility through this tube, so this entire section right here is pretty much scraped out. I can't get any product out of there. I did attempt to take out the stopper, and you can see it's like totally chewed up, but it's like completely chewed up, and I was trying so hard with tweezers and I cannot get it to budge. I don't know if that's just because of the way it's packaged or maybe the age of the product, but I cannot get it out, so I have to consider this product a done, because, or a goal completed or just done, because I cannot reach the product at the bottom here or up at the top. I just can't reach it with this wand. So I'm going to consider this a goal hit because there is no more usable or reachable product within this tube. This next item, I am able to show you a little bit better this time around. Last month, I actually had broken it. This is the Essence Satin Touch Blush in the shade Satin Love, and I did end up repressing it. I gathered up all of the product that was left and I repressed it all. I'm really happy with the way that this looks now, actually. Obviously, no signs of pan going to be coming anytime soon now that it's totally smoothed over. But I'm really happy, actually, since I repressed this, it does have more of a true satin kind of look to it. It's called a Satin Touch blush, but it always looked very matte. Not very matte, but it did look matte in the pan. And on the face, it would give a little bit of a healthy, natural sheen. But I feel like in repressing it, somehow I like emphasized that sheen, because you can see it has just a touch of glow. It is a really nice natural color. And so I'm really happy to be reaching for it. I'm so happy to have repressed it. It kind of feels like I have a new blush in my collection in a tone that I already know I love and adore. And I'm really happy to be working on it. I'm just happy to be reaching for it and to be getting so much use out of it. I cannot believe that this is like a $3 or $4 blush, and how long it's lasted me and how well it wears on the skin as well. It's just beautiful. Next up is the Too Faced Hangover Primer. I love the scent and I love the feeling of this primer, but throughout this month I haven't reached for it all that much. So I'm actually not going to be making a new marking. I think it's still right at this point. So you can see, yeah, it doesn't really fold down actually at all farther than that. I did use this a handful of times because I love mixing this actually with my Fenty foundation to give me more of a sheer finish, and it makes it a little bit less of a matte finish on my skin. So it shears it out and it makes it more of a natural finish. I love that combination, so I have been using this from time to time, but truly not that often, and I use not even half a pump when I use it that way. So I think this is going to take me a while to get through because I am focusing on other primers in my collection, and I haven't been reaching for this as an all-over face primer as of late, simply because I just don't need it right now. You can see I do have a little bit of oils coming through on my forehead and by my nose, and I don't find that I need this nourishing primer on an everyday basis, so I've just been using it when I feel like it's absolutely necessary, but that just really hasn't been the case now that we're in the summertime. So I know I will finish this by the end of this year. No worries about that at all. There's absolutely no reason that I wouldn't with so little product in here, but it just hasn't been something I need to use, so I'm not just going to use it for the sake of using it. This next item is a powder from Milani. This is the Conceal and Perfect Shine Proof Powder in the shade 03 Natural Light. This is a tinted powder. I wouldn't consider it to be a full-on powder foundation, but it definitely does offer coverage. Pan is slowly growing on this. I haven't been reaching for it near as often as I was back in the fall because back in the spring, because I was using this as a base underneath of powder bronzers, especially when I was using my honey bronzer from the Body Shop. However, I have been using cream bronzers as of late because I really like that glow. I really have been liking that natural finish on my skin. And so something like this is just not really all that essential for me when I'm reaching for cream bronzers. So progress is very slow with this. I have used it a handful of times to just amp up the coverage of tinted moisturizers or something like the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue. And this shade is just ideal for me at this time of year, but I'm just not into a very powdery look right now. I've been really liking a very dewy, hydrated, natural finish kind of look, and I haven't been craving this product. So I know I have expanded the pan just a touch, and this one actually I've just been keeping in this project pan even though my goal was to hit pan on it, and clearly I did that a few months ago, but I just want to keep working on it because it's been enjoyable to kind of see what the natural progress is like. It's more like a way of tracking this product. But yeah, I don't think that I'm going to be able to use this up this year. That's not my goal with this. Again, I just want to keep monitoring my usage of it basically and making sure that I am reaching for it. Next up is the brow pencil that I said was kind of replacing the dip brow for the last few months. It kind of took priority. This is the NYX Precision Brow Pencil in the shade Ash Brown. And I'm so happy to report that this month I finished it. So I'm trying to scroll it up, and as you can see, there is no more product that's accessible in here. And this shade was definitely a little bit too deep for me, but I managed to make it work. I would really use the spoolie on the other end to really make sure that I worked the product through my brows, and then I would oftentimes even run my foundation brush over it to make sure that this didn't look too heavy or too harsh on my face. But I really did like the ease of application of using a pencil over something like the dip brow, which is a little bit more labor intensive. I'm really happy to have finished this up. Again, I will be rolling something else new in its place. Cannot wait to put that into my empties. That feels so good because I don't believe that I finished any other brow products this year because of my prioritizing the dip brow pomade. So it feels really nice to have worked my way through one of my brow products. Next up is the NYX Butter Lipstick. I have mine in the shade Snowcap, and honestly guys, no new progress to report at all. This past month, I have been using it. I have been making sure to reach for it from time to time, but I just checked it against my marking from last month and literally it has not moved. And that's because I've been wearing it as a very sheer, balmy kind of lipstick as opposed to a really intense, like high shine lipstick. So what I've been doing with it is I've actually just been like applying it onto the very center of my lips right here, and then using my ring finger to dot it out and just work it into more like a sheer stain. So you can see it barely has much of a tint at all, but it does offer a little bit of sheen, and then I can apply a gloss on top of that, or I can use a lip pencil underneath of it to kind of alter the shade and to give it a little bit more longevity. But I haven't been using this as a full-on lipstick because, as I said, since I kind of introduced it, it really doesn't do anything flattering for my lips. This lipstick is, I don't know why this formula gets hyped. It just does not work for my personal lips, so it might work for other people who have more smooth lips, but I have a lot of lines in my lips and it really does emphasize that. I'm not unhappy at all to be reaching for that lipstick. It's just something that I don't find myself automatically gravitating towards in my collection over other lipsticks, so it is going to be a little bit of a longer process for me, but I think I should be able to finish it up within this year. I do need to prioritize it just a little bit. This next item is a pricey item and it has quite a long name. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Charlotte's Genius Magic Powder Under Eye and Face in the shade One Fair. So this product is just not my absolute favorite setting powder. It's the one I've been reaching for as of late simply because I am panning it and I don't dislike it. It's just not my like be all end all loose powder. And I finally think I'm able to make a marking on this. If I take off the lid, there is some visibility through the tube as long as I push all the product to the bottom. And it looks like it's at about this point right here. So not a lot of product used out of this container. That is where I'm at. So this portion of the bottle is empty and I have all of this remaining in here. So it definitely is going to take me quite some time to work my way through this entire package. I don't know how long it will take me to completely use it up, but I don't dislike it. I have been reaching for it every single day, not only because it is in this project, but I do think it gives me a nice like blurred and brightened look underneath the eyes. This is just a really decent powder. It's not the be all end all, and you do get 13 grams of product, so I do think that is fair, but it is quite a pricey product, so it's not something that I personally do recommend. I don't dislike it, but I'm excited to work my way through it because this is quite a high ticket product and I cannot wait to see how long it really does take to use up a pricey powder like this. And the final item that is currently in this project pan is this Marc Jacobs setting powder. This is the Recover Perfecting Coconut Setting Mist. And last month I had mentioned that I don't really like this as a setting powder. I discovered that last year trying to pan this as well. And this year I have really come to learn this is a really nice priming spray. So I used a little bit of product using it as a priming spray over this past month. I didn't remember to use it every single time I did my makeup. Otherwise, I feel like I would have a lot more progress on this. But I did reach for it a fair amount of times, way more than I did over like the majority of this year otherwise. And I do think this is something I can finish up within this year as long as I am using it in that way. It does have a little bit of a sticky texture to it, so it actually is really nice to help grip base products onto the skin, and it layers really nicely with other more traditional primers like this one. So if I apply this all over my face and then I pop this on top, it really does help to lock in the hydration that something like this would offer, or other primers it would just really sit on top to help grip the foundation onto the face. And I do like it for that. I'm happy to be using it up that way, and yeah, hopefully if I remember to use this more often this month, I can see a little bit more progress. But I wish I hadn't removed the markings from my last project pan because literally it was moving in like 2mm increments when I had it in that project pan last year. So this is quite an improvement because I finally have reached or found a way that I will reach for this more frequently. So now for my favorite time of project pan updates, whenever I'm able to roll new products in, it always feels so good, and I'm super excited to be rolling 2 new products into this project. This first item is the Pixie Correction Concentrate in this shade Brightening Peach. I am going to be rolling this kind of as a direct replacement for the Pacifica concealer because that one offers a really nice color correcting, brightening sort of property, as does this, and I really like the formula on this one. It's not quite as hydrating as the one from Pacifica. This is more of a cream instead of a liquid, and I really do like the way that this product sits underneath the eyes. I do have it underneath my concealer today. I am really happy with this product. I did have it in a project pan, actually the same project pan that this was in. I had it in last year, and my goal was to hit pan on it. I don't believe I had done that within that project, but I have the tiniest little bit of pan in here now, and that's simply because I was using my tweezers to really get into the bottom of the jar. This time around, I think I'll just use a brush and see how much progress I can make. It likely won't be like visual progress. Maybe I'll weigh this one actually. I think I might, yeah, I might weigh this so that I can see from month to month how much I'm getting use out of it. If I set myself up with a goal of trying to finish it this year, that might be really difficult, but I think I'm just going to keep this in the project pan until the very end of the year. And the next product I'll be rolling in is again going to be something a little bit more difficult to work on. This is the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter in the shade Be My Highlight. This is a beautiful glowy highlighter. I absolutely love the finish of this. It is definitely more natural, but it is a beautiful sheen. I love the way this looks on the skin, and I have had this in my collection for likely 2 years now, and you can see the dome is still pretty prevalent. There isn't really a huge amount of wear that's happened on this, and I think it's time to remedy that. So I want to hit pan on this. It's gonna take me quite some time to attain that goal, but I do think it's doable, and I am really excited to work on this highlighter. I'm really excited about all the products that are currently in this project pan, and I'm really excited to kind of see how this project pan wraps up. I think with everything that's currently in this project, it's going to be a little bit longer before I end up rolling anything new in, if at all. Yeah, there's really, everything is a little bit more long haul kind of products for me, but I'm gonna try my best to make some visual progress on everything for the next few months and kind of see how this project ends up wrapping up at the end of this year. If you enjoy project panning like I do, please do consider subscribing. It feels so weird. I don't like saying that kind of stuff, but please do consider subscribing to my channel because I do a ton of project panning here. This year has been a really great project panning year for me, and I've been having so much fun with it. So that's absolutely everything for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching and for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.